Once upon a time, stories did not exist. Words ran rampant, untamed and untethered throughout the world, a mass of nouns and letters tumbling across the earth like a raging sea. It wasn't until the chronicler herded the unruly verbiage into books and added them to their collection that stories started coming into being. But what happens when tales escape the confines of their covers? That, my dear reader, is something we will find out together.
I need to get back to where I'm from. My friend is waiting for me. Who else is gonna try and play Murder the Dragon with me? Well, I suppose a lot of these people.
Everyone thinks fairy tales are things of joy and happiness. Well, I can tell you firsthand that they're nothing but a bunch of little nightmares. They've taken everything from me, but I can fight. And nothing's gonna stop me from getting back to my Tam.
For as long as life has existed, I have served as its complement, its bloody sibling that all fear. I am Camilla, death incarnate, and my will cannot be denied.
A name. A name is for those who wish to be known. And if you find yourself in my presence, then you must know nothing.
Hello. I did not miss the button click this time around. I really should install my Stream Deck so this is a little bit easier. It's fine. Hi everybody, welcome to session 3 of Journey to Book's End, a Cypher System fairy tale inspired game using the We Are All Mad Here supplement by Monte Cook Games. I am Mare, I use they, she pronouns, and I will be your page master for this evening. Before we get started, we're all going to say, hey, hi, who we are, our character sentence, go into a recap. I will go over the donation incentives again, and then we can go watch people cry because we left on a slight cliffhanger last week. So, we're going to start with Charlie and go clockwise.
Oh, what's up, gamers? Hey guys, my name's Charlie. I use he, they, she pronouns, and I'll be playing Bonnie Janet, who uses she, her pronouns, and she is a strong-willed explorer who looks for trouble.
Maya.
Yeah, my name is Amaya. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm playing Mishi, a guarded beast who speaks for the land.
Angela.
Hello there, lovely people. It's good to see you again. I'm a little bit more dressed up for this occasion, so I hope I can be both tempting and emotionally scarring in all the things that I do. I use she, they pronouns, and I will be playing Camila Gutierrez, who uses any and all pronouns and is a vicious warrior / god who sees beyond.
And last but not least, Soul, who will also be doing our recap.
Yes, good evening guys, my name is Soul, I use they them pronouns, and I play a rugged dragon who bears a halo of fire, Onyx Scaletooth, who is here to let you know what happened last session. Well, Mom, I made new friends and enemies. One is probably a water dragon. She has a story that's glass, and so we're gonna have to put that back together, interestingly. And I have a bat dragon friend who is crying a lot lately. I don't know why I keep focusing on that. Whatever. And then Bonnie Janet, who is not a dragon. Damsel. Very cute damsel. Didn't say in distress. Everything is great. We fought an ink monster, and then a paper creature gave us a pen so that we could go into a book and write ourselves a door to get out. We had to explain the concept of a door which is probably not the most crazy thing I've had to do. And then we went into a story, which was interesting. There's a castle. You could take out this castle so easily, Mom. You could take it out. It's so... You know what? Let's just talk about the castle. Okay, fine. And then we met a couple of strange wolves who responded to orders. They are so shaggy and weird, but honestly, very cute. Mishi does not like them, or likes them a lot. I don't really understand. And then we met Bonnie Janet's mother-father, which is their progenitor parent, who has been trapped in the book for a month, but we have been outside of our books for a couple hours. Time. I wish I had listened during those time magic lessons. Instead, they led us out to the forest, and we met some small creatures that are not dragons. They're fae. That's what everyone kept calling them. And then there was a weird bony one, and we traded them. Well, Bonnie Janet traded them a little dog whistle, and it was shiny, and it was really shiny. Shiny. I'm not trying to get away from the point. I don't know what you're talking about. And then we went back, and nothing bad happened at all. We met a very nice man called Anansi, who has been storing the pages that came out of the dead ink monster. The ink monster died in the forest. I'm so sorry, Mom. Missing the big points. It had pages in it, and then like later, big fae came, which I don't know how big these guys are. They're the tall ones. I'm very tall. I don't know. Took stuff, but we don't know what it is. And so we had to find them. We made friends with Anansi. I read more about our book, and the crazy thing is, apparently, Petite... You know what? I made Carmilla upset more, and I tried to say sorry, but I'm really bad at that suddenly. I don't know why. And then it didn't work because I made her upset, and she's still upset, which is fair. And then Petite stabbed me a couple times and said that she hates me. And I don't know what to do about that, Mom. But there's this new lady here. She came out and yelled. And I guess I better pay attention now.
It's okay. If you can't pay attention through the emotional and physical pain, we understand. All right, before we get started and get back into where we left off last session, I want to remind everybody that we are raising money for PCRF, and if you want to help us raise money for the Palatine Children's Relief Fund, you can donate there. I put a thing in chat. Click that link. We are $40 away from our $400 goal. If you want to give my players assets, it's for $5. If you want to give them all assets, it's $20. If you want to give them random ciphers, make them get cipher sickness, give them a lot, that's $10. And if you want them to get natural 20s, why do I have natural 10 on there? I'm going to have to fix that. But anyway, it's natural 20, so automatic crit. That would be another 10. You can give them all natural 20s for 30. And if you want to allow me to give them a natural 1 and fail their rolls and, you know, fill the one I just used last session to stab Onyx, I would love that. All right. Are we ready to get back into it, folks? All right. So, as Onyx told us, we last left off with Onyx getting stabbed, people doing some fighting, rough and tumbling. We last left off with Bonnie Janet having Petite pinned to the ground with a knife at her throat. She was unfortunately, fortunately for her, unfortunately for Janet, able to wriggle out and try and stab Onyx again. Until a new person appeared. Janet, you recognize this tall, buff woman. Her hair all tied back in braids. Very tall. She's like about Onyx's height, type of tall. Asking what the hell is going on here. And she's looking at all of you. Petite is still kind of pissed, but she's actually not going for Onyx again. She has the decency to look slightly ashamed and is not catching this woman's gaze. And this is somewhat of importance. I don't think anyone else would know this, who this person is, but the crowd parted for her. Like, straight up. Well?
And I pick myself up off the ground and dust myself off, and I do that very formal curtsy that I did with Anansi. He's like, Lady Skaha, begging your forgiveness. One of my companions was attacked, and we were defending her.
She gives you a look up and down, not like it's a measuring look. She doesn't seem upset at you, and her gaze immediately turns to Petite. Well, and Petite takes her spear and puts it point down instead of at fleshy bits, and she doesn't say anything, and her face is going red with, even redder with anger. And Skaha, like, marches up to Petite and basically takes her weapon from her. And she doesn't relent. She doesn't, like, fight for it back. We're gonna have a talk later. And then she looks at your group and then down at Onyx. And she walks over to you, Onyx. Are you laying down? Have you stood up yet? What's...
Onyx had, like, stood up to try and stop, Camilla from continuing to attack Petite. I imagine when all of this happened again, like, Onyx has, like, slumped down to the ground again and is sort of, like, just holding the wounds and looks a little like shell-shocked.
So, into your gaze, like, this woman, like, kneels down and holds out a hand for you to assist you up.
But in the other hand, she's holding the spear, right?
Like, it's up, not pointing at her, but yes, it's the other hand. Okay. She does have it, but she's not...
Okay, if it's away, I think Onyx sort of, like, flinches at the sight of the spear, but, like, reaches out very cautiously and takes the hand.
And it's one of those grips where she grabs your forearm to help you up, and she will help pull you to your feet. My apologies. Are you okay?
I'm confused.
Understandable. She looks at you, Janet, since you spoke up earlier. Are you in charge of this group?
I'm the current guide. I'm the most familiar with this landscape, so I've been taking the lead.
And then she looks over at you, Mishi, and you, Camilla. Very level gaze. You're welcome to come back to my fortress. I would like to have words with the four of you regardless, but your friend looks like she needs some medical assistance.
Thank you. That's very generous.
And then she stands back. She steps away from you, Onyx.
Why have you not allowed us to kill the aggressor?
Please don't. Please, 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 please don't.
That is one reason. And though she is brash, she is a very formidable warrior. And in the upcoming times, we'll need that.
Formidable on her own, perhaps, but not against the rest of us.
She's still young. She has a lot to learn. Teamwork and listening to orders being one of them. You're welcome to call on me tonight, or if you would prefer, tomorrow after you've had some rest.
We will. Thank you.
And she'll turn again, marching off, and actually grabs Petite by the forearm and continues on, pulling her a little rough, probably rougher than necessary. Just a little bit of if anyone wants to roll a perception check, she says something to Petite.
Oh, yeah. I want to know. This intellect?
Yes, this will be an intellect check. I think this will... Oh, I should open up my how to GM Cypher thing with all my task difficulties. This will be a 3 because she's starting to walk away. Back is towards you, so this will be a challenge 3.
I'm gonna put effort just because I'm a nosy bitch.
Nosy bitch.
14.
8. So since I lowered the T
Yes,
to
you made it.
2.
Anyone
Fuck
else?
yeah.
Onyx or Mishi, are you rolling? No. Okay. So Camilla and Janet, you hear Skaha essentially starting to scold Petite. Basically, there's two main things. Like, just because you were a princess there doesn't mean you're a princess here. And 2, I'm giving the stable boy off the rest of the night, and you're mucking the stalls. Alone.
Sucks to suck.
No.
So she's probably going to be smelling of shit next time you see her. It's fine.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, it is getting... It's not dark yet, but by the time you have started like talking to Anansi, looking at all of your the papers and stuff, it was starting to like get towards sunset.
Mm-hmm. I'll talk to Mada, see if we can get us a tent. Onyx, here, I can help you look at those. And if you're okay with it, so I'd like to roll for healing to try and give Onyx some health back.
Yeah. I don't remember how that works. I don't recall.
I was just looking at it.
You're an angel.
I decide how many points I want to give. Like, I want to try and heal her for, and then that's the difficulty tier.
Got it.
And because I'm trained in healing, it's lessened by 1.
So if you wanted to give her 1 point back, you automatically succeed because you have an asset. You're trained.
Exactly.
Got it.
So I'll go for try and give you like 3 points. So difficulty of 2, and this is like a once a day thing.
Got it.
Just for the record.
Thank you for looking that up.
Of course. Okay, I got a 9, so we're good.
You get 3 points back, Onyx.
Mm-hmm.
That comes to 7 in my might.
Huzzah.
Anansi is looking at some of the papers and taking a very, very like light like piece of like of his clothing and like gently brushing some of the papers that seem to have gotten some blood splatter on them.
Sorry.
It is what it is. Death is not nearby anymore. They are no longer sitting there. But you assume, Camilla, that they're probably still here somewhere. They tend to flit about. What are y'all doing?
I think Onyx is like, is this what pain feels like? I've never been hurt like this.
Got quite the intense introduction to pain, but yeah.
I don't understand why you don't want to kill the one causing this pain.
Can't hear you.
It was Zoom. It put me back down for some reason. Don't do that, Zoom.
How dare.
It's homophobic, honestly, trying to silence me. But have you ever had someone in your life for a long time that...
No.
Well, then it's going to be very hard to understand. Like, your creator, right? You have a creator?
Yes.
What if your creator hurts you suddenly?
I would be powerless to do much about it.
Would you want other people to hurt your creator for you?
This also would likely not have much effect.
What if they made your creator go away forever?
There would be grave consequences beyond all of us.
My person is small. They aren't as important to the big picture as your creator. But I don't want her to be hurt, even if she hurt me.
I don't understand.
She seemed really angry, Onyx. Anger like that doesn't come from nowhere.
I mean, I don't understand. That's the thing. I thought we were friends. So did I hurt her? Did I deserve this? Am I a bad person like it says in the book? Am I a bad dragon? Am I a monster? Am I
Onyx, what did you do with your pages?
Oh, they're probably bloody, because they were in like Onyx's like little shirt thing, open V shirt thing.
Yeah.
Didn't you burn your book?
I burnt part of the pages.
Okay.
In the library. I have no idea. Actually, I have no idea if that worked, A. And B, that's going to be very, very bad later.
What?
Probably.
So last time we checked, you arrived in Scotland with the scorched spine and cover with no pages, and then you got a couple pages from Anansi.
Yes, exactly. And I slipped them back into like my shirt.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that's probably where they are. And Onyx is having a little panic attack.
Yeah, I was asking in case they were like on the ground or something. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
Janet, your father does come back now that the commotion has died down, and the perpetrator of the stabbing has been taken away. I've already talked to someone. We have someone coming over to look at your friend's injuries. Are you staying here tonight?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Thanks, Dad. Is there a spare tent or some sleeping sacks we can borrow?
We have both.
Perfect. Yeah, it's a rough couple of minutes, but I think we rest will be fine.
Lachlan pulls a flask from his hip and holds it out to Onyx. Would you like some, lass?
Have you ever had alcohol before, Onyx?
You did? Is Zoom being a bitch again?
I've had fermented fruit.
Hey,
It's the same thing.
is this the good stuff, Da?
Well, it's as good as you can get around here.
Still probably a fair bit stronger than fermented fruit. It's fine.
He hands it out to you. If you'd like a sip, you can totally have a sip.
Yeah, Onyx puts her hands out, shaking a little bit. And I think that's when she notices, like, where some of the ink has, like, rubbed off and everything, the patterns that it's left behind are strange where the blood touches it. And if you permit me to say, I think, like, with the blood touching it, like, the ink sort of, like, almost glows a little bit there.
Ooh, fun.
Right? And on her arms, and she pauses as she's holding the flask and looking at it. And she's like, what's that?
What's what?
The ink is, it's weird. It's not coming off.
Have you tried water?
Not yet. I need to wash off the blood. And Onyx takes a sip, blanches, I think, and is just like,
It burns. It fucking burns.
Oh, it's whiskey, mama.
and hands it back to Lachlan.
He does offer it to everybody else.
Oh yeah. Not even flinching.
I think Mishi, like, sniffs it and is like, I will not consume that.
Fair. Fair.
Hi, everybody.
I think Camilla just downs a huge portion of it and it doesn't do anything to her.
Damn.
Oh.
Can't even get drunk. Damn.
You all consume this as though it is unpleasant. Why would you continue doing so?
It's not the taste we're after, love.
Ah, it is a drug, I understand.
Yeah.
Yes. Correct.
It's been a long day.
I'm not interested.
Fair enough.
God, I just had a mind blank. Sorry. Love, if you want to come with me, I can bring you over to our healer. Get this looked at. Maybe get some stitches.
But I am a bad dragon.
I'm not gonna pretend I understand what just happened, but I think saying you're a bad person based off one thing is jumping to conclusions.
Onyx looks like she wants to argue, and then, like, feels the pain in her side, and sort of shuffles towards Lachlan, like, okay, fine, I'll go.
Yeah. He looks like he's about... He kind of stands next to you, like, if you need to lean on him, he'll let you, but, like, also doesn't want to, like, encroach on your personal space.
Mm-hmm.
He looks like he gives good hugs.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, I think Onyx is just, like, very much like, everything is too stimulating, everything hurts, and this is confusing.
Yeah, that is completely fair. Lachlan takes you over to a very old Scotswoman. Jen, if you see who Onyx takes her to, it's basically not the landlady, basically woman in charge of, like, housekeeping at your father's keep.
Oh yeah, Maggie.
Who was it?
Maggie.
Baggy, perfect. She does, she's in charge of everything. She knows everything, knows everyone. If you need something, she got you. And she's already got, like, a needle, thread, more alcohol.
Yeah.
Mostly clean bandages.
You're in good hands. Maggie knows what's up.
Onyx, I will allow you to roll a free action rest, to get some points back. While Onyx is getting some heals, what is everyone else doing?
You two all right? Kind of jumped in there.
Yes, there was violence afoot. And had I not, Onyx likely would have been killed. And that would be inconvenient.
All right.
Why are you making that face?
Oh, nothing. I like her too, you know? I like all of you.
That is unexpected.
For us to like you?
Yes.
Why?
It has never happened before.
Have you ever had much company?
None that lived to tell about it. Or
We share that in
very
common.
little.
You all need to get out more, Christ almighty.
The point is that I don't. I have a home to protect. That's what I do. I do not get out.
It's also usually not preferred when I go different places. Wherever I go, unpleasant things follow.
Are you alright, Camilla?
I do not believe she was injured in the battle.
That's good, but that's not what I meant.
May I ask something of both of you?
Sure.
Do you feel as though we have a duty in our respective stories, if that's what they are? Call them our
Yes.
lives, call them our stories. Do you believe we have a duty to uphold?
Yes.
Everyone's got a duty to something.
Is that all our lives are supposed to be?
Yes.
No.
Anansi calls in, pops in, no.
My man. No. Duty... If the duty is the product of something else. If you weren't... What's holding you to your duty? Is it loyalty? Is it love? Is it fear? Is it something you want? if it's just doing a thing just to do it, it ceases to have any meaning. There's got to be something, some external force outside the sense of duty to make it worthwhile.
But why?
Maybe I can help. Are you satisfied with doing your duty?
That Anansi poking in again?
It is Anansi poking in, yes.
I'm just imagining we're in a tent and Anansi's just like, "By the
None
way,
of y'all
bud,
said you went to a
guys.
tent yet.
Philosophy?
None of y'all
I'm
said you went to a tent
curious.
yet, so...
Are we debating the philosophies of the universe?
But no, yeah, no, he's he finally has his, like, he has, like, the he's put all the papers that he has had back in that little chest and has it under his arm. Are you satisfied with your duties?
That's not a question we're supposed to ask, or that I have ever asked.
I'm asking.
How would you know?
Who was that to, Amaya? Who was that to?
To Anansi.
How do I know what?
How would you know if you are satisfied with your role?
Do you feel complete? Do you feel happy, at ease? Do you want nothing more from life?
I would agree with everything you said, and
Food for thought. But this question still stands, my lovely little death god. Are you satisfied? Are you content with the life you previously had before being swept away into this lovely Scottish countryside?
That is not a question I've ever had to ask. I am part of all reality. I am part of what the end is for everybody, for where I am.
You are part of it, but is that all you are?
What more could I be? I am death incarnate. I am night. I am the loss that people go through in order to make room for others, or for the other gods. What more could I have besides violence and loss? What more could this one have? Like, points towards Mishi. What more could Mishi have besides being a protector? Besides being there for the land in the way that they are supposed to be?
He looks at the two of you. I think this little excursion is going to do good for both of you. Get you beyond the comfort zone of what you only knew and had. Because if there is a bird who has been caged its entire life, does it know it is a prisoner? It is the same concept.
what are you talking about? What are your strange words, you strange
Magic
man?
Oh,
do not-
your funny words, magic man.
Why would a bird be in a cage?
See, this is what I am talking about. There is more around that you do not know of.
I only need to know my island and to protect it.
I will take your word for it. But in the meantime, until you get back to your island to protect it, maybe branch out.
In
See?
what sense?
Depends. I can't answer that question for you. Maybe just do some thinking to see if the life you were living is one you were happy with. At minimum, you can take up a hobby like knitting.
I have a hobby.
Murder does not
Murder.
count as a hobby.
Why not?
Well, it could. But it can't be your
Hobby's got-
only hobby.
A hobby's got to have nothing to do with what you do for a living. A
Yes.
hobby's got to be just completely separate from your work life. Just something you do to unwind.
Thank you. This is why I like mortals.
Thanks.
Does
You-
battle count, even if it is not necessarily for the intention of murder?
I would
mean,
say
I'm-
so.
Just a friendly spar between friends.
Yeah.
Good way to let off
Yes.
steam.
Yes,
Yeah.
I have done this. I don't know if I would say friend, but battle for not the sake of murder.
Anansi, when you say that, like, it's not friends, Anansi gives you a little... look.
Wait, was that
No,
look
it was
at
at
me?
It was at Mishi.
You unsettle me.
I get that sometimes. And people call me annoying, but I like to call myself charismatic.
I think you're great. You're cool, man.
Thank you, Janet.
Thank you, Barbie.
If I think Camilla's just processing all of it, and is just still like she still has a lot of tears from earlier when Onyx ran up to her and started like trying to get a hug from them because they just got out of berserk rage.
True. Oh, let me help you with that. And like out of nowhere, like Sleight of Hand hands you like a very nice spider silk kerchief. A little hanky for you.
That reminded me, I have to wash mine. It's covered in ink still.
Just sort of holding it, doesn't quite understand the gesture.
He mimes
knows
like
what he's
blotting.
trying to do.
He mimes blotting his like face. You got something here and here.
Just slowly mimics and is still very unsure about the whole process.
Anyway, I am going to head off to my own tent. Camilla, your friends said that they're around. They haven't left, so if you want to talk to them, you're more than welcome to.
I would be open to that if they are available.
They said they will have a mug of ale waiting for you at the central fire.
I can't help but notice that it might have just been Charlie fixing his glasses, but it almost looked like Janet was like, "Cup of ale, you say?
I was just fixing my glasses, but you know, read into it what you will.
Also, but ale. Let's come on.
I think she starts to walk over, but she does look back at Mishi very thoughtfully as well during all of that.
Oh my god, we're all wearing glasses. Let's go.
Hey,
Yes.
we
Yes.
can't see.
My eyes
Viewers
were tight.
delight in the fact that none of us have good eyesight and need corrective attention. This is also known as all of us have a disability, but we're not going to get into that right now. Anyways, I think while she's walking over to Desmond, she looks thoughtfully at Mishi and she says, "If you ever would like to fight not for the purposes of saving a friend or anything, I would be open to this."
My primary priority will always be returning home, but I will keep this in mind.
Slowly walks away over to their friend.
Are we resting now? Is that what's happening?
I think so.
Okay. And Mishi starts to walk into the woods.
Oh, all right.
I knew this was gonna happen. I knew it was gonna happen.
She's
Good.
just-
Good on your own? Do you want someone with you, or
Absolutely not.
okay? Yell if something happens, I guess.
Alright. If it's okay with it, I think we're gonna go back to Camilla to go talk with Death, and then we'll pick up with any other scenes people want to do. I will have at least one GM intrusion. But Camilla first.
Yeah, I think she's only partially blotted out the tears and the mess on her face, but the moment she heard Janet say like, "Oh, I still need to clear out mine," she just tucked it away for later.
The kerchief.
Yeah.
The central
And-
fire is in the middle of camp. And it basically is at least a little slow burn throughout the day, but since it's getting darker, it has been built up a bit, both for warmth and light. And as well as people getting served like a community meal from like a, you know, never-ending stew. People will add shit every day, so on and so forth. There is also Death sitting near the fire with 2 mugs of ale, and as they see you approach, lifts one up in your direction.
Thank you.
Hello, dear.
Hello.
And pats a little spot next to him for you to join if you would like. Maybe get yourself close to the ground. You look very uncomfortable standing up, right?
It's not a position that I am used to. Soul, I swear to God, I'm going to leap my hand through
I
this.
didn't say shit!
You don't have
Your
to
face
say
says
shit.
8,000 words, you fucking smart aleck. She's not used to being upright. Enjoy that for what you will, viewers and Soul. Get it out of your system now, you fucking sinners, all of you. We've all sinned. Me most of all, but it's fine. Anyways.
Yeah, do you sit down?
Mm-hmm.
And then he will also hand you the mug if you would so desire it.
I think she takes a long drink of it. It's probably a bit stronger than she's actually used to. I think it's a weird thing. I'll throw the idea out there that I think substances that feel more akin to like her own home actually affect her, whereas other stuff it's like
Whatever.
It's weird. It's
like
the whole yeah, it's a fluid, exactly. Like it's like had all of that strong stuff and I'm like, okay, go off, I guess. And meanwhile this own stuff is like, oh. Definitely having one of those shakes. She definitely has, like, she's doing the, like, mouth teething kind of thing that bats do. Like, if you've ever seen a bat, like, eating a banana, they're just going...
Bats are great, okay? They're adorable. Never handle a bat, though. They're full of fucking diseases. Do not touch them, as cute as they are. This has been your bat PSA.
You can touch me all that you want, but it's fine. Just don't touch a bat. Anyways. Carrying on.
What a commotion. I'll put it that way.
Indeed.
You handling things okay? I'm asking to be polite.
I know.
When I came here to see entertainment, because I was bored, I wasn't expecting to get so much from people I cared about, you know? I prefer it didn't happen and that you weren't in this situation, but if you need anything, I'll try to help.
May I ask you something?
Of course. And he takes a drink.
Is this a lesson or is this a punishment?
Is what a lesson or punishment? The situation, us being, well, all of you being turned around in your worlds?
This. Just all of this.
I think it is neither. I think it is a big mistake.
Do you think... Do you think I chose to end up this way? Or do you think this was all someone else's fault?
I'm not sure if I understand the question. You choosing as in your domains? Who you are?
I think she becomes like the agitation she was holding in earlier from when Soul was like holding on to her is actually like starting to like leak out, so she's starting to like rock back and forth. And I think there's for the first time an acknowledgement of her like frailty that she's in right now, where I think it just starts turning into like a long stream of words that don't really stop. Why do I not have my wings? Why every time that there is bloodshed, I see red and I don't remember what happens in between until I finally break out of it? Why am I like this and my wings aren't with me? Why are my wings gone? Why is this what I am now? Why does all of this feel wrong, and why does going back feel terrifying when it should be right? I want my wings back. I want to know who I was. I want that back, but none of that feels right anymore, and I don't understand why. So I'm asking, did I choose this and do this to myself? Or did somebody else do this to me?
Death takes a very long sip of his ale. I have some practical answers to some of those questions, but that was a lot, my friend. Would you like some of the practical, actual answers?
Yes. And what are we sitting down on? Is there just like tree stumps, or is there just spots?
Rocks, nature. A couple people have like made makeshift chairs, but not too many people. But there aren't too many. But it's mostly like rocks and stumps and stuff and logs.
Hmm. I think she's suddenly thinking of a couple of different things, and while she's trying to listen and focus on what Death is saying, she pulls out from the bag she has with her. It looks like the makings of like a sketchbook of some kind, and she just begins trying to draw things, and it's like the faintest outline of a creature lost in water. It's the faintest outline of someone like in the midst of readying to throw back a punch, and it's a draconic figure who's weeping. But she's just doing that while Death responds.
According to Anansi, why some of you, such as yourself and him, and your other friends, Onyx and Mishi, are not at their fullest capacity is because you are missing a huge part of your story. You are removed from what makes you you in your essence. And as for why you see red, this is just a guess, but my guess is that your powers are just a tad too strong for the form you are in right now. As for the others, I don't think you did any of this to yourself. You're not the type of person to do something like that to you. You said so yourself. You are focused on your duty. No offense, my dear, but you were very focused on your duty. I don't think you would have had the time to think about doing something like this to yourself.
I think she tries to open her mouth to respond, but it's very much in that way when a friend a friend sees the aspect of yourself you don't like and is right and is super accurate about it, but you don't want to admit it, but she can't say anything in response. And I think she just very casually like looks to like a tree stump that's nearby and slowly starts actually breaking off a long piece of it.
Like the bark
to
and
almost-
stuff.
She's filing it down actually. To be more of the shape of a cane.
I choose to believe that this situation that everyone has found themselves in will work out.
Do you think we'll be the same beings we started out as when we reach the end of this?
Do you?
I don't think what frightens me is changing. I think what frightens me is that whether or not I will want that change.
And that's just something you're going to have to meet when it arrives. Change isn't always bad, my dear. And I hope for your sake and everyone else's sake, it is positive. Or at least not terrible, you know? I hope for a net zero.
I think she finishes filing down essentially like two pieces of the tree trunk. And just, it's almost like she's created like her own makeshift crutches to walk forward on. And the movement is definitely a bit more jittery, but there's a sense of like peace for her and having that be there again. The movement feels much more like herself again. But she's just sitting down, just talking to Death, who I think, if it's all right with you, Mary, it's not what anybody else sees, but I think she sees, and Death's, whatever they're wearing, I don't know if it's a robe, it's a cloak, or what sort of view they have, but I think she sees herself there. And it's unsettling for her, but in a way that she's more okay in the moment handling.
And if you're okay with it, Death will veer the conversation to more mundane topics, such as, let me tell you about the last person I brought over. And like their life. I feel like this is something the two of you have talked about on occasion anyway.
This is work conversation.
This is work
for
conversation.
Us. For a Death God, like, how was Wednesday? Oh God, we picked up an order of like 12 people. Although I feel like the most horrible version of that is just turns into the professor talking from the Futurama, where he's just like, how did Thursday go for you? To shreds, you say. How about Friday? To shreds, you say. But it's just work talk for them.
It's just work talk. Okay. Mishi, you're going on a walk. Tell me about what you're doing over in the woods.
I think she's enjoying being alone again for a second. Like, she sees like one person a week. This was a lot. If that. This was a lot. And despite being in Scottish land, the woods are like a more familiar type of turf for her. What the hell is a library? She didn't know, but this she knows. And was even like a little bit kind of encouraged by seeing the small fae. They kind of reminded her of home as well. So I think she's looking for a similar area to where they were, with like a creek or a small like pond or body of water for her to kind of make a little area for herself.
Yeah. I'm not even going to make you roll for this because you are a creature of the water, of the earth, and the underground. You can easily lead yourself to small bodies of water or streams if you so like to.
Yeah.
How far into the woods are you going?
As far as it would take for her to find somewhere that she deems comfortable enough.
Yeah, I think you're going to need to at least go at least a mile in to get rid of the sense of humans, of the lights and the smells of too many people. And you are able to eventually come upon a small body of water. It's not as big as your place, but it is big enough to go swimming in if you were in your beast form. Can I ask, how big is Mishi's beast form? 'Cause I don't want to say it's big enough and then say it's the size of a dragon.
No, definitely not. I think it's like a panther, like a big
okay.
cat.
So a regular
panther,
big cat size.
mountain lion. Yeah.
Okay. So it is big enough for Mishi to swim in if she was in her beast form.
I think even in her human form, she would still go for a swim.
Yeah.
She's not sitting at the bottom or... Well, actually, I do have a thing where I can breathe underwater. Maybe she's going to go for a swim.
Yeah, do it up. No one's stopping you.
She can breathe underwater. She's hanging out.
So as you're going swimming, getting the cool liquid on your skin and your scales, would you like an experience point?
Always.
All right, who's your other experience point for?
It's gotta go to Camilla.
Alrighty. Alright. While you are swimming, you have actually acquired an audience watching you. And unlike before you saw these creatures, this small fae, you tried to attract some. Janet talked to one. And they were not your fae. Straight up. But they were close enough. They were creatures of the wilds, of mischief, and of non-human origins. But as you are looking out over near the shore, right near the tree line, you see more small fae. But these are your fae. These are ones, maybe not directly from your home, but definitely ones that would live there. The types that you recognize. Very much made from the bones of small creatures and pelts. Ones that wear skulls as their own faces, or of wood and green and swamp and must.
Yeah, are they like an army of little guys? Are they like staring at her, or is this just like they're hanging out?
It's a little combination of both. They do not run from you, but it's probably like about a dozen of small little guys. But some are watching you, some seem to be conversing. There is definitely one that seems to be waiting.
Yeah, I think she's just kind of standing in the water at about like shoulder height, and she says, "And how long have you been trapped in these strange lands?"
Are you addressing any of them specifically?
Kind of generally, and then her eyes falling on the one who looks like they're waiting.
The one that looks like they're waiting has the long legs of a hare and the very much jackalope vibes, but with long human-like hands and fingers.
Horrible, thank you.
And their chest is a plumage of blue jay feathers. That one actually like hops up to the edge of the water and is looking at you. We're not trapped.
Where are you from?
Home?
But this is not home.
No.
How do you return home?
It thinks and it stops. The tunnels. There are tunnels.
And the tunnels go home.
They go many places.
Tell me more.
I'll tell you more, but I have something for you first.
A gift?
It
An
nods.
offering?
It is a gift, not necessarily an offering. The person who it's from, it would not be an offering from the person who it's from. And it rummages into its fur, and from its little plumage, it pulls out a very long, this is probably about the size of your forearm, Mishi, gold and black feather, sparkling with lightning, and the smell of ozone fills the air. And it holds it out to you.
I think she's like staring at it and processing, and then she snatches it. Where is she?
Who? All thunderers.
The one who gave you this.
All thunderers look the same to me.
No, they don't.
They are all big and scary and full of lightning.
This is true.
But this one gave it to me in, what do you call them? There's not an equivalent where we're from. But the home of my ancestors.
What?
My cousins. You saw my cousins here. The ones who are
Yes.
like me but not from home. Where they're from.
That is where this thunderer was?
Yes.
Was she brought there like how you were brought here?
No. I think they got lost like how you did.
Do you know how to get there?
Yes.
Through the tunnels?
Well, the tunnels lead to other places. But there are doors that lead to the other. There.
You know what a door is. How have I been missing out? What the? You can't know more than me. That's not allowed.
I'm pulling from a book series that I was reading. That all the common fae know the back doors, but the royal fae can't give two shits about the little fae. But yes, little. It's like a warren of tunnels.
I see. Show me the tunnel that goes home.
Your home?
Yes.
It closed.
Why?
It shrugs. I don't know. I haven't been able to get back home for a while.
Was there a message to come with this gift?
It looks... As much as this little creature can, it looks contemplating me. It looks contemplating. Not a verbal one. I would hate to assume what the Thunderer would say. I think they are too proud to ask for help.
They've found themselves in some sort of trouble then. Interesting. Thank you for this information.
You are welcome.
I think she's like... goes back under the water and just comes back out with like just a full fish in her claws and like gives it to the Fae.
Oh, little grabby hands grabs it.
And it's still like wiggling.
Oh, the Fae don't give a shit. That's some tasty stuff right there. Yeah, no, it gives a little more, another head bow and thanks, and then it goes hopping off.
She's like in the corner of this little like pond, and it's like it like slowly goes back under the water.
You taking a nice little snooze into the water tonight?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Janet or Onyx, is there anything you would like to do before we start heading off to break?
I think Janet tries to get some sleep, but can't. And when everyone is... She kind of peeks her head out of the tent to make sure most everyone is asleep, or her father is asleep. And she heads to the woods, too. She doesn't go as far in as Mishi does. She kind of stays where she can still see the camp. Mm-hmm. But she settles in between the trees, and she reaches into her pocket and pulls out a ring. The middle band is of iron, surrounded by 2 bands of beautifully petrified wood. And she holds it. And then she starts to cry. And then she takes her knife and stabs it into the nearest tree. And just kind of...
Mishi felt that. Mishi felt the damage to the wood.
Oops.
It's fine.
And she just kind of has like a mini breakdown.
Oh no.
Alone.
Oh no.
Before she heads back to camp.
Having a mini breakdown is a free action.
Thanks.
It always is.
Onyx escapes as soon as Janet has left the tent.
Oh.
So Onyx was like pretending to sleep, like with like curled over, like hugging the bandages, and as soon as Janet is gone, Onyx is like up and out and heading for the castle.
Oh shit, uh-oh.
You are just going, you're yeeting for it. Alright, tell me your intent.
Gutta said that we could call upon her in the evening.
You did.
I put myself in the worst possible position to get found. Have fun in dealing with this on your own, guys.
So I think the conversation like that's going to take longer than 10 minutes until break. So I think we're going to take breaks a couple minutes early. The only thing I will say, at some point, Camilla, during your talk with Death, after it has gotten good old dark, Sochi comes crawling out of your hair and is just like, gives you a little nuzzle, a sleepy nuzzle, because they're just waking up. And she goes hunting for food. Insects. Steal berries out of people's mouths. You know how it is. Real big seagull energy. I don't know.
I love it.
I can't remember if fruit bats eat. I can't remember if fruit bats also eat insects. Okay.
if you want the description of how they actually do it, I can tell you.
Yes, give me some bat.
It's so okay. Here's the bat lore, folks. So a lot of bats when they actually, especially like vampire bats and such that also do hunting for like creatures, like insects and stuff. It's kind of like they like grab it in like a pincer movement with like their mouth and their feet to like catch an insect in the midair to pull it towards their mouth. Like they'll go flying through the air and then you'll just see their feet just sort of watch. Yeah, exactly. So they'll like scoop it up into them.
Good.
So you just see a comparatively small bat just flying through the air, just going whoop, just catching stuff every now and then.
Sorry, I was expecting also when you first started that. Here's some bat lore and then going into Batman facts.
Different. That's a whole other episode.
I could tell you the vampire bat stuff, like how they do blood without hurting a creature they actually take blood from, but that's other details.
Anyway, we're gonna go to break. We'll be back anywhere between 5 and 15 minutes. Stretch, hydrate, pet your pets, and we'll be back soon. Bye! Everybody, welcome back to Sad Monster Hours plus Sad Human. Anyway, hi, we're back from break. Welcome to session 3 of Journey to Book's End. As a reminder, before we go back into more sadness with the dragon, we're raising money for PCRF. So if you press ! donate in chat, you can help my players or hinder my players and raise money for a good cause. Let's go. We are $40 from 400. Let's do this. Before we went to break, Onyx waited until her roommate Janet GTFO'd to go cry in the woods, and then started booking it for Skaha's Fortress. All right, Onyx. What time of night is this? Janet, when did you leave? What time of night?
Like 2 in the morning.
It's okay. Onyx has no social tact. It's fine.
Yeah. It's fine.
So you go.
It's easy to break into a castle when it's 2 a.m.
This is not creepy at all. So you go run into the fortress at 2 in the fucking morning. There are like 2 guards at the front door, and as soon as you get close enough, they do like cross spears and be like, "Hold up." Who the fuck is?
She slows down when she sees the guards.
Okay. Who goes there?
Onyx. Scale tooth.
What business do you have here?
The lady of the fortress said I could call upon her in the evening.
They kind of look at each other, and then they look at you. Are you sure? It's past midnight. The lady is sleeping.
Okay. Understood. Onyx taps her foot impatiently and is, like, struggling right now with the feeling of having to go back. Like understanding that it is polite to go back, right? But there's something, like, itching in her arms, up her shoulders, that it's just like that, like, she wants something to go her way. She wants something that she wants right now.
Okay.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just like, what about petite?
They look at each other again, and then they look at you, but like their eyes pointedly look at your bandages before looking back up at your face. Also sleeping.
I think these itches get more pronounced, and she starts to, like, claw and scratch at her arm, and she's just like, when does your master wake?
I am not in her quarters, but if I had to guess, around dawn, which is still multiple
Onyx.
hours away.
Oh yeah. Onyx sits down in front of the gates and crosses her arms and rocks back and forth impatiently.
Are you going to sit here all night?
I have never tired before. I am not a being like you.
They exchange glances, and then one of them, like, turns around and goes inside. And, like, so there's just, like, this awkward silence for a couple minutes with you and the other guard, and then a couple minutes go by, and the other one comes back out with a blanket and kind of hands it out to you.
Onyx looks confused, and then this itch again, and like her face like becomes almost like a child that about to have an outburst, and she gets up and she's just like, I am not foolish. I don't need a blanket. I'm not a child.
It's my apologies. It's cold out. Just trying to be nice.
I'm made of fire.
Do you start smoking at this point?
Huh?
Do you start smoking at this point?
Oh yeah, I think it puffs out from her mouth, and like it almost sparks in the back of her throat, and she has to like shut her mouth, and she wraps her arms around herself, and there's like a confusion on her face, because she doesn't understand why she feels this way, and she opens her mouth, and like just like this white smoke filters out before she says a choked sorry, and she turns tail and runs from the gate. And she doesn't like what's happening.
Do you go back to your tent? Do you...
I think she goes back to the tent but sits outside of it and is trying to wait for dawn, but is just like, again, like sort of like worrying at her arms and like I guess trying to like rub them clean, but again the ink isn't coming off, and it's making her more and more anxious.
Okay. So for everybody, if you want to use all of your rests, like your action, your 10, your hour, and your 10 hour, this is the time to do it. Get back some of your points. So roll a 1d6 for each one, and then +1 for each one, and we can hopefully get you healed up a little bit before we head into the morning.
With Janet's healing and Maggie's healing and this rest, I'm back up to full.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
So just
I think
emotional scars. Got it.
Yeah, just the emotional scars.
I don't think my character sheet saved the points that I spent last session, but because I just rolled like a 5 and a 4 and a 3, so like I think I'm good.
Probably. Mishi and Camilla, you gonna roll? And then once you
I've
use...
got double 6s.
Oh,
Let's go.
I got a 1 last time I rolled, so.
Yeah, I remember you healing 2
Are our
points.
rests reset now with having taken a
10
8
hour?
Like,
Yes.
Yeah,
As soon as you take your 10 hour, they reset.
that's what I figured. But
Yes.
I'm back to max. I rolled a 5 plus a 1, so I was only missing 5, so
All right,
I'm all
sweet.
set. I'm back up to full, baby.
Let's go. Camilla, Sochi comes back like 2 hours before dawn, and then like latches herself to you. Did you have a nice evening, my lady?
Was interesting to say the least. I got to chat with an old friend.
If there's anything I can do, please let me know. Do not hesitate to wake me.
Of course, my friend. You have always been most dutiful and supportive, and I appreciate that.
And then she'll crawl back up into your hair.
I think Camilla goes to wherever Janet's like tent and spot is.
You see Onyx sitting out in front. Did you fall asleep at any point, or did you? Nope.
I think Janet coming back from her thing sees Onyx sitting out there. She just goes, yeah, and just goes to bed.
So
She's tired.
I'm gonna say, since you didn't actually sleep during your 10-hour rest, you're gonna have a hindrance. You're tired. Okay, just letting you know.
Just a little eepy guy.
What do you mean there's
So
mechanic
easy.
consequences to our character choices?
I feel like I have that hindrance in real life.
I would never say no to a mechanical consequence for my choices.
Yeah.
I won't, but I'll still complain about it regardless. I know who
Sometimes I offer them up to my GMs.
Anyway, you see Onyx being grumpy.
Yeah, Camilla also is walking back using the crutches that she's made for herself. Or, well, more like long canes, but she's functionally using them almost like crutches. Have you been awake all night? Could not hear you, dear.
Zoom, stop being a butt.
When I get you, Zoom.
Forget petite. Zoom is the
get-
new BBEG.
I'm gonna get you,
Baby
my
girl?
pretty, and
Level
your little
9.
processing
Yeah, my baby
software
girl.
too.
Anytime people say BBG, I'm always like, baby girl.
That's my baby girl. Yeah, Onyx says I can't sleep. I like your canes.
When does Mishi come back?
Does
Yeah,
Mishi come back?
I missed the cue of like it's morning now. I wasn't not paying enough attention, but
No,
I
it's
think
okay.
she's
It's not morning yet. It's 2 hours before morning. Before dawn.
okay. I think as soon as the sun is rising is when she starts coming back. I think she's on like animal internal clock hours. When
That's
the
fair.
sun's down, she's sleeping. When the sun's up, she's awake.
That's fair.
So yeah, when the
A
sun is
diurnal
rising.
animal.
And she also is very aware of like they're not gonna be able to find where she is, so she doesn't want them like freaking out looking for her. So she comes back as soon as the sun is rising. And if people aren't awake yet, I think she's chasing after the dogs again, but it has decidedly started to look less and less like concerningly violent and more like, oh, maybe they are actually playing.
Aww.
Oh.
We call that growth.
Yeah, that's my character arc of the episode.
But I think Camilla responds to you, Onyx, was saying like couldn't sleep, and it's like, have you made peace with your friend's decision?
Yes. But I don't understand my role.
From my perspective, it seems quite easy to see what your role is. You are a villain to her.
But she was never She was always deferential to Mother. She never tried to play... She never tried to hurt Mother. She only ever tried to hurt me. And I don't understand.
Harm to someone to a being who could very easily snuff you out, or to someone who thinks you're their world?
I wouldn't... Why would you... Why would you hurt someone who wanted to be your family?
Because they do not see you as family.
I don't know what to do.
I hope you don't try and do anything foolish, like trying to go after her.
That's what I want to do.
Would you like to be stabbed again? If you're looking to be stabbed again, that's much easier to solve here in camp with either myself or Nishi.
And that itching starts up again, and Onyx claws at her arms, and you can see like red welts where she has been like clawing at this ink mark that is like, again, more and more like Liechtenstein figures, like lightning. Lichtenberg. That's what I meant. Like lightning creeping down, like now almost to her fingertips. And it's just like, I never get to do what I want to do. I had to stay there longer than Petite. I wanted to grow up and see the world with her. Why did she hurt me? Why did she try to hurt me and then get angry that she couldn't? It doesn't make sense. It's not right. And I need to understand.
Janet, this is happening right outside your tent.
Yeah. I think Janet, for what it's worth, didn't get that much sleep. And like, if this is like 2 hours before dawn, I think she just kind of tries to lay staring at the ceiling, for like 20 minutes before she's restless, and then she realizes that her clothes are covered in ink and blood and grass stains, and she's like, I'm about to meet Skaha in her house. I can't. So she comes out of the tent in just, you know how like in Mulan when she was revealed as a girl and she just kind of had like those wrappings around her chest to like protect her modesty or whatever, like she's got that on and like a set of bloomers, and like she comes out like sun's out, guns out, dress and skirt and cloak in hand, and she like strides out of the tent and goes, morning, and goes to find Maggie to like see if she's got like a bucket of water and some lye that she can scrub her clothes with.
Yeah.
She brings it back to the tent, just starts.
Yeah. I don't think you've seen Maggie ever sleep.
Yeah.
She's got lye. She's got water. She has a sewing kit to help, because I'm sure you got some rips on your clothes.
Well, that I can take care of myself. She taught me well. She taught me how to.
She taught you, but she's got the supplies though for you.
Bless you, Maggie.
She gives you her own little pat. Got no teeth left. Old as shit. Let's go.
Oh, jeez.
She's great. She's the real person holding my father's castle together. Like, he's the lord, but she runs the house.
Fucking-lutely. She has outlived, like, probably several of her grandchildren. Just from premature deaths.
Oh, yeah, she was around when my great-grandfather was in charge.
Camilla, you see Death, like, over in the corner, like, I ain't taking her anytime soon.
We've all God, it reminds me of fucking the Lobo from DC Comics. Has it literally in his lore that Death has signed away a contract for his soul, so they can't technically take him. That's what we have collectively, as all of the representatives of the domain of Death, decided for Maggie. That we're not taking her. She comes when she wants to.
Alternatively, she's the only person who's been able to escape all of you.
Yeah.
Or she won a bet.
It's less that she escaped us. We just didn't want to do it. We're like, she's hung on this.
She would wash Death's mouth out with soap if he tried anything right now.
Yes.
Yes. But so you're passing by Onyx and I having this moment.
I'm not even engaging. I was just like, I need.
I love it.
This is what
Absolutely
happens. You two are in front of the tent. Bonnie comes out and walks between the two of you.
Yeah.
Basically, like her shirt was like up to her neck and like her skirt was down to her ankles, and now she's got like basically in like a bra and like shorts. She walks back and then comes back 2 minutes later with a bucket and starts like cleaning her own clothes. Like
Onyx gets immediately distracted.
Gay.
Onyx is like upset and then watches and then just sort of stares off, like forgetting, like in the middle of this like upset rant at Camilla. And then looks back at Camilla and is like, what just happened?
A random lass walks by. You gay, honey? We all let girls here.
Like Robin Hood or some shit.
Yeah. Women, right?
Well, to be fair, there's Robin Hood and his merry men, so he may understand.
He gets it.
He may understand that feeling from another angle. I think Camilla just decides, like, okay, you're not ready to engage with this right now. You're still in, I'm gonna cry and be upset about this. This ain't worth it.
Didn't sleep off the sads.
Nope.
Sleep off the sads is trying to claw, like, her arms up. Like, it's just, like, reacting very poorly to all the stimuli.
Camilla instead goes over to where Janet is and sits next to her, which again, Janet, you'd notice she has the like canes she's using more for stability now to walk around. Good morning. Janet?
Yeah?
May I help you with this?
Do you know how?
Don't you be laughing over there, fucking like walking out of the forest, having just swum in a random lake. Don't you tell me shit. Yes, I have had to clean up after myself after very bloody engagements.
Fair enough. Here, if you want to get at the stain in my skirt, I'll finish with. And she just kind of like fishes it out from the bucket of water and just kind of, breaks the bar of soap in half and just hands you one half, and just keeps going to work.
Yeah, despite the strength that she shows and like violent encounters, her hands are actually much more inclined to delicate or dexterous matters than like intense physical activity.
Mm-hmm.
So you see her, she's like, you mentioning that it is yours, she takes time and is being careful. Like she sets the canes and walking aids to the side, and she is just like, you notice very much how long her fingers are, how long the claws are, and yet, despite how sharp and everything they are, she's being as careful as she can. with her fingers, with everything that she's doing. How are you feeling?
I'm fine. Tired still. It's been a day. It has been a feckin' day.
Was there... I think she is speaking quietly, so she's making sure that it's just a conversation between the two of us, even though Onyx is a little bit away.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, is there a reason that you had to head out to the forest last night?
I've always been able to think better outdoors, in the trees. Suppose Mishi and I have that in common.
Please be careful when you do so.
Are you worried about me?
Yes.
How
What
are we
did-
gonna... Go ahead.
What did you need to think about?
This... Whatever this is, whatever brought us here, could not have come at a worse possible time for me. I was in the middle of something important, and I'm afraid if and when we get back, it might be too late to finish what I needed to get done.
Are you worried you'll be too late?
Yes.
I do not think that's possible.
What do you mean?
You have a knack for saying the right things, or at least finding the right things to do. I do not, and given what I am and what I have experienced, I do not think if it is someone you are hoping to have the company of, that you are too late, or that you will be too late.
I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, none of this was supposed to happen. I mean, look at you. You're a goddess, and you're
Struggling?
yeah, you're struggling, and I was literally ripped out of thin air. I was leaping through the air. And then I was in the library. And I don't know how this works. I don't know if what happens here affects what'll happen when we go back. And if my father's here, then who knows who else fell out of my story and where they are. Might not even be there when I get back. If I get back.
May I offer another thought or another perspective?
Mm.
Let us say others did fall out of your story. Whomever you are taking time to be alone and think of. What if they fell out and you could find them?
I wouldn't even know where to start. You saw the size of that library. He could be anywhere.
But it's a hopeful thought, yes?
Maybe. What's worse? Knowing where he is and knowing you'll never be able to get back to him. Or to not know where he is and to just, what? Spend the rest of my life trying to find him? Dying in someone else's story?
If nothing else, I will not be the one to take you. I would not choose to do that.
It's funny, actually. Because death's a rather cold thing where I come from. It's impersonal. Someone's there and 1 minute, next they're gone. Seems like it'd be comforting to have someone there with you.
Do you know what I see when I take them?
No.
She holds out her hand.
Take it.
I think it's not anything like mechanically rich. It's more just an aspect of what lingers in her sight that she shares with you. That it's the equivalent of like everything suddenly becoming like turned up to 100. All the sights, all the sounds, everything is much more intense. And you see, I think specifically for her as a bat, like the veins of blood that flow through everybody. But it leaks out past people almost like it's a thread of fate itself. But it's red. That while the end of that red is death, it is also life as well.
Wow. That's what you feel all the time.
I am here for the end of it, but I'm fortunate in that I still know at times what it is. For what life means. It is a very beautiful thing that people cling to. They fight for the people that they care about. I have never been cared about in that way. I have never known anyone to greet my coming with anything but trepidation. But I am company, and if you would like company for the end, should that be a misfortune that finds you, I will gladly give it to you. But I do not think it will find you. I think whomever you are looking for will be very fortunate to find you again, and you will be even more fortunate to find them.
All I can do is hope I'm not too late, I guess. And for the record, we don't have to wait for my impending death to be each other's company. You have life now, Camilla. That's what this is. It's only been a day of it, but what you just showed me, that was intense. Yeah, but I think it's only intense because you're getting a whole life in the span of a second. Whereas I've had 20 odd years so far, and hopefully many more to get those feelings. Like a slow drip instead of a shot of it all at once.
I think she looks over at Onyx. And she's still speaking only so that Janet can hear her, but she says, "In a way, I understand her confusion.
Yeah. I think in that situation, both sides have been hurt. They need to talk to each other, but it's not my place to tell her how to handle that. That's the risk of life. The people you love the most can hurt you the worst.
Is that what it means to love somebody?"
It means being okay with the possibility. For most people, the best case scenario is not lasting much longer after the one you love goes.
She stops with the cleaning of the skirt. I think she's probably long done it. It's just like
Yeah. It's
rubbing
drying.
it over at one point or drying it.
Mhm.
But she pulls out essentially what is a jade knife and leaves it behind for you, along with, like, you see her just pull out what looks like the end of like a sketchbook, and she just leaves she tears out a page of it and just leaves it beside you.
What's this?
Finding out what not being what I am anymore means.
Pick up the paper and look at it.
It is just a sketch. Like, it's a full, like, mostly penciled with just some coloration on it. It looks like she spent probably a bit of time on it. That it is a full sketch of Janet, more like probably bust view of Janet, like ready to punch something, like fist cocked back. And then I think she walks over to Soul and leaves a similar page in front of Soul.
Camilla coming out and giving Soul a magical knife.
No, not. I'm not giving Soul a knife.
Onyx.
I ain't giving you shit.
Yeah, I was like, who's Soul?
You're giving Onyx
Sorry, I'm giving Onyx.
a page.
There we go.
Fuck you all. You all go out.
The sky is beginning to lighten with pre-dawn.
She waits. She gives. When Mishi comes back, she gives similar thing to Mishi.
It's like a drawing of her?
Mm-hmm. I will note, though, that this one is closer to the form you took when she first saw you in the library, and she's left the tail as it is now. She hasn't... For her, it seemed like disrespect to try and imagine what your tail would be. Like, so she left it with the tail still hurt.
An unconventional offering, but I accept. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she's still holding the feather in the other hand.
The Yeah, the three of you see this long black and gold feather about the size of a human forearm, elbow to fingertip, that is sparking with lightning.
Is it also kind of wet? Because you went underwater with it.
Yeah.
So it's like
Mishi as a whole is always kind of wet.
Mishi is always moist.
Love that.
That's some phrasing you chose there.
But is it incorrect?
Absolutely.
No.
What you got there, Mishi?
Yes, I received a message. Someone from my home has also been trapped elsewhere.
All right. Is that something we need to handle right now?
A little thing of lightning, like a small like electric shock, like hits you, Janet.
Ah!
Mishi like pulls it away and is like,
What's that for?
she like. I was about to say she puts it in her pocket, but she doesn't have pockets, so she just like holds it closer to herself. And then I think it zaps her too, and she's like,
Yeah, but you're used to that.
yeah. It doesn't seem to affect her nearly as much, but it does hurt. It was a subtle request for assistance.
Okay. Well.
Great spirits don't ask for help.
Ah, I see.
And this great spirit, I believe, has found themselves in the hands of what you call the Tall Ones?
What?
Yes, the Fae that I'm unfamiliar with. In my home, I would be the Tall One.
Yes, true.
As well as the Thunderers. We're both tall.
Right. Fucking filching little feckers. Right, well. We can go see Lady Skaha, see if she's can offer us any assistance, then we can go see about your friend? Associate?
Associate.
Right. Okay.
We're not friends.
Give me like 20 more minutes for my skirt to dry. I don't want to. I just give me one more second. I don't want to go meet go to this castle in my knickers.
I mean, she just like stares at the skirt for it to dry.
Put it laid out by the fires. Like, oh Jesus, just willing it to dry faster.
Onyx does speak up from her quiet, angry scratching, and it's just like, is it inappropriate to go with the garb I'm wearing, which is torn open and bloody?
I could ask.
Mishu barely wears clothes, so like you're not the weirdest looking one here.
Yeah.
To be fair, I think Maggie would have thrown you a spare tunic and top.
Yeah, I was gonna suggest like I could have asked Maggie to help stitch that up for you if you want.
Damn.
Absolutely.
I was gonna have a canonical reason for Onyx to just be like, nope, shirtless. I have no.
Nobody's gonna stop you from going shirtless.
Yeah, nobody is going. Listen here, viewers. We know how to bait all of you. One of us will be your interest. At least
you're either queer or a monster fucker.
You understand who our audience is.
Or both.
You are in the Venn diagram.
It is a circle.
Okay. The center of that Venn diagram is my roommate.
I'm getting away with my little stuff.
You've been called out in this VOD. It is immortalized now.
I see you.
Yeah, Onyx is like, this is inappropriate. Onyx just fully
people on the YouTube VOD later are gonna be like, what are they laughing at? And we're just laughing at the roommate in chat. It's fine.
Yes.
I literally live saw Zoom try to fucking lower my shit. Okay, no, she's just strips off the top.
Like,
honestly,
tits out?
Tits out.
Okay. Alright.
There's not a lot. It's like a broad chest. It's
Itty bitty titty committee?
Yeah, sure. It's butch energy.
Yes. I
Love.
Yeah.
I think there's like the briefest look of Misha of like, is that normal? I guess that's normal. Okay.
What are clothes?
Well, I don't know.
And
every human she's seen has clothes, but okay.
Yeah,
Onyx isn't a human.
Onyx isn't a human, and she came out wearing clothes. Honestly, they're kind of uncomfortable. She doesn't like them. But you know what?
So Janet finishes getting dressed.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think as we start walking to the castle, Janet once again just kind of sidles along next to Camilla, and not even looking at her, just kind of still walking. She just goes, Tamlin. That's his name.
Safe. At the very least, I will.
You cut out on that first part.
Cut out in the first part.
Yeah.
You're cutting out.
Cut out again.
Motherfucker! God damn you!
We are not having good with the
bitch.
mics this week.
It's not the mics. It's Zoom.
It's Zoom being homophobic as fuck.
You've got to speak up.
We will protect you, or at the very least, I will.
Appreciate that. Right. Let's go freaking chat with my childhood hero. No big deal at all.
So Bonnie, Janet, Camilla walking side by side, and Onyx starts speeding up as they get closer, and as she passes by, so there's bandages, right? Clean bandages.
They're clean.
On her body. Yeah. Clean bandages on her body, like, with some bit of, like, modesty, right? But on her shoulders and creeping down her back is this black ink, Lichtenberg figure, just sort of, like, lightning strikey all down her back, and she is rushing for the castle.
The guards that there are different guards. It looks like there was a shift change at some point, and as you approach, Onyx just fucking beelining it. They kind of nod at you. How far ahead do you go, Onyx? Are you like specifically beating everyone else there? Or you?
I think that's what the curse is currently driving her to do. It's very much pushing her to follow her, like, immediate desires. Like, screw social propriety, screw everything else. This is what I want right now, and I'm gonna get it.
So maybe you're like 100 paces ahead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Onyx is fucking going for it. Do either of you keep up, or are you going at your own pace?
I think seeing Onyx in such a rush, Mishi would just look over at the other two and say, what are we doing again? Why is Onyx so excited?
We're gonna sit and have a chat with Lady Skaha, see if she has it, because she might have more information on the situation we have at hand. I think Onyx needs to talk to Petite. And
the one that stabbed her.
Yes, the one that stabbed her. And we can be on standby in case stabbing resumes. But if all goes well, we might be able to be a little bit more prepared leaving the castle as when we were going in. And then we can go find your electric acquaintance.
Acceptable.
Great.
So I repeat.
Michi's not running. Because
Okay,
why
you're
would
not
we,
running.
Why would we be
Yeah.
running?
Okay, cool.
Just.
Okay. Onyx, you make it up to the castle first, and the guards look at you and be like, "You've been expected," and the other one is looking behind you. I'll let your friends when they get here. Did you want to wait for them, or did you want to head in?
I just want to go inside.
Okay.
If that's, yeah. Doesn't even finish if that's okay, because it's too much. It's desire driven. And when she doesn't, like, I think, like, it, like, again, there's barely modesty, and it, like, it seems to, like, creep over her shoulder.
Yeah, they allow you in.
Mm-hmm.
And there aren't that too many people out there, but there's, like, a servant who is talking to a familiar ex-princess. And as soon as you enter, whatever, like, calm, just casual conversation she was having with the servant is completely cut short. And her back, Petite's back gets really rigid. And she's looking at you. Her fists are clenched at her sides, but she doesn't say or do anything.
When Onyx sees her, Onyx flinches visibly, and then something starts to prickle. Her arms itch, her back itches, like her, like, hackles raise, and she stomps over to Petite and then doesn't look at her at all and is like, "I'm here to speak with Lady Skaha."
Are you saying it to the servant?
Yes. Not Petite. No, she's ignoring Petite.
Petite seems like she's okay with this.
Yeah.
So, the servant looks at you, looks at your bare chest, looks at the ink on your red skin, looks at Petite. I was told there would be 4 of you.
They're on their way.
If it's okay, we will wait for them, and then I can show you all at once.
Okay, can you ask this one to leave?
Petite hears you, and like you swear you can hear the grinding of teeth. I'm actually was supposed to bring you to Skaha. She wants me there.
What, to be more of a cruel bitch?
I'll accept it. Rather be a cruel bitch than a passive princess.
Is that's what passive? Trying to poison me and kill me throughout your whole life, yeah?
When begging doesn't work. And the many times I've asked you nicely to let me go didn't work. Yeah, I had to go to extreme measures.
I couldn't leave either.
So you had to keep me there? And I think at this point, the 3 of you walk in.
Mishi's hackles raise.
Yeah.
If you cared about me so much, why did you keep me a prisoner? Why do we both have to be prisoners, huh?
Because my mother told us to stay there.
Your mom is not my mom.
It creeps down further, and Onyx says, "Yeah, your mom gave you up."
Was Petite aware of this?
Good question.
Throw
Was
this
Petite
at her.
is Petite aware that she was a sacrifice to make sure that humans didn't trespass in Dragonland?
Dragon Tales, Dragon Tales.
It's like the worst possible version of Dragon Tales.
No, yeah, that's a great question. Does she know?
Oh. you see, there's a spicy answer, which I have to go with,
Yeah,
which
so there's
is
no other answer you need.
Yeah,
so
it's
there's a spicy
no.
answer, which is the only
Onyx.
answer.
I think Onyx thinks she knows, because Obsidian told Onyx. So why wouldn't Obsidian tell Petite?
And you just see her she was about to say something else, but as you cut her off, her jaw clasps shut, and you just see a surprise, pain, and just she's stunned. And as you see that, as the rest of everyone comes in, the servant is just like, if you would follow me to the hall. Lady Ska has asked for breakfast to be set out. Follow me.
Onyx, are we to come to blows again?
Onyx looks at Mishi and is just like, no.
Oh yeah, she's gone. Petite's gone. She's following the servant. Whether you follow or not, she's going.
Yeah, Onyx looks confused and again is like itching at like her shoulder and her arm, and it's just like,
Onyx, do you have fleas?
No, I've had scale
this
fleas
happened
before.
To someone that I knew, not me. It's uncomfortable, so I hear. But it did not happen to me.
I think maybe since Onyx is shirtless, I think maybe that might be Janet clocking the progressing ink stains for the first time. And just be like, oh no. Add that to the list of things we gotta talk about. Okay.
The fleas?
No, well, Onyx, you've got a rash of some kind. And it doesn't look like a regular one.
The ink, it's bothering me, yes.
The ink came off of me with a good scrubbing. I think this might be something else.
I've been scrubbing all night. Okay. I don't know what to do about it.
Let's go see Lady Skaha.
You are all led into a large stone banquet hall with long wooden tables. And one of these tables is set up at one end with chairs at the head and then benches along the sides. And at one end is Skaha sitting down in a chair at the head. And at this point, Petite has already speed walked forward and taken a spot at her right side and like plopped her butt down, looking at just some meat and bread and staring at it and not looking at anybody, very much deep in thought. And as the rest of you enter, Skaha stands up and inclines her head at you. Welcome to Dunska. I have been waiting to talk to you for. Welcome, come get some breakfast. Water, ale, tea.
Many thanks.
Onyx moves to, again, there's this like almost shudder in her shoulders, and the first reaction is to move and sit at Lady Skaha's left hand to sit right across from Petite.
Boy.
As you sit down, she looks over at you and like clocks your scars. That's not your scars, your ink stains. Oof. You got some kind of magic really got hold of you.
Is that what this is?
Yes, I'm not 100% sure what it is, but Some kind of magic spell has taken over you, my friend.
Magic.
Magic.
I know magic.
I know magic too.
Mare, I think Onyx has a clear enough head when she's told that it is magic to try and inspect herself, to try and understand what this magic is.
Sure. You can
Cool.
roll. Did I give you a level of what this curse was?
If you did, I don't remember.
I don't remember either. I'm gonna say this is a level 4.
Okay. So I have magic training, but I also have a hindrance because I'm tired.
Yes.
So
It's flat.
evens out.
Yes. Flat roll. It's a flat roll unless
Flat
you
roll.
spend effort.
I am gonna spend effort. I'm gonna spend it's only 3 points if I spend 2 effort, because I did upgrade my effort when I spent my 4 XP. And I have an edge in intellect because I'm a magic dragon, not a fighty dragon.
You would before.
Yep. Oh, actually, it should be 3. I should get a discount on each level.
It's total.
No, it's only total.
Then I've been doing that wrong on Dax's game for a while.
Oops.
So, so I spend 4 points.
You spend 4
I
points.
want you to know I had an entire table for 12 sessions, for 2 seasons, for 2 halves of a long-ass season, where it was a running joke who was going to ask me during a session, what is effort versus what is edge? Every goddamn session.
I'm gonna interrupt this. I'm gonna
edge.
interrupt because
Yes.
we do have a lot to get through still before end of session.
Let's go. Sorry.
Yes, sorry.
Rein in the ADHD, folks.
Okay, that is a 19.
You get that, and you also get a minor effect. What would you like your minor effect to be?
I want a clue to how to break the curse.
Okay, so essentially, you clock this for what it is. Maybe curse. I'll let you decide whether curse is the first thing that pops into your mind. This is a lingering magical detriment in effect that has stuck onto you, and you are aware of magic. You know how it works. It can totally be broken, but you need someone with the skills to do so. Like, you don't think it'll be too hard. You're just not equipped to handle it.
Yeah. And so, like, what it looks like is almost fire raising off of her skin, and it sparks, and instead of being red fire, Mare, whatever Petite's favorite color is. Not on purpose.
Blue.
It's blue. It's a blue fire that, like, raises out of, like, these lightning patterns. And sort of, like, helps her read the spell, and is just like, oh god. Or, oh mother.
Help yourself. And then Skaha leans back. I knew you'd be coming for a bit, but visions don't particularly tell me names. You know me. I am Skaha. This is one of my students who at least one of you are familiar with. Petite. Petite noticeably does not look up, but she's just been picking at some, like, cheese and bread and stuff. May I inquire as to who you are?
My name is Janet, milady. You've met my father, Lord Lachlan.
Yes. He has talked fondly of you.
We come from the same land, you and I, albeit many, many centuries apart.
Mm-hmm. And you, my dears?
My name is Onyx. I am the daughter of Obsidian Scaletooth.
She does give a slight nod at that and glances over at Petite, but doesn't say anything else.
Okay. Mishi says, I am the great spirit Nishipeshu, and I've been brought here by mistake. And, like, as she's saying, she's, like, eating. She's, like, hasn't really looked up and is just, like, eating the food. Mostly the meats.
Yeah, there's a bunch of dried fish, too, so.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's what she's...
Yeah, you're going for the fish.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I am Camilla. At least that is the name that I use here. Was known by another name of Kamazots.
She nods, tearing a piece of bread into pieces. The reason why I wanted to speak with you, and that when I saw that you were here, is because I saw that, unlike some of the others that you met in the camp that have appeared onto my lands, you are able to walk between the pages. Is this true?
No.
Yes. Yes, it is.
What does that mean?
We came from other books and we came to this book.
We can also get ourselves out of it.
That I show the pen.
I don't come from a book.
Well, you came from somewhere not here. And that is the important part, and that you can come and you can go. I wanted to ask a favor of the four of you. I don't assume you're planning to stay, which is why I'm asking.
No.
Along with my vision of you coming here, I've also learned that a very important artifact has gone missing. And I don't think it is good of it for us to stay outside of my homeland. I think it got all wrapped up in this big old mess that you four, along with many of your friends, she inclines her head in the direction of the encampment, have found yourselves in.
What is it?
It is a spear of great might. I have been told that my student Kukulin no longer has it.
Pagekeeper, is it safe to assume that Janet knows exactly what she's talking about?
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh, that's not good at all.
Is it like the 7-pointed one?
It's worse. It's a lot worse.
Oh.
I practice saying it, but I feel like I'm gonna fuck it up anyway. Can you say it, Charlie?
I believe it's pronounced the Garubulga.
Yeah.
It's a nasty piece of work, that one.
I was going to request that if you see it in your travels, if you could retrieve it for me.
Of course. Has Kukulin been yeeted from his world?
Don't know. Don't care.
Okay. Great. What?
She mutters something under her breath.
Of course.
I think the only one who could hear it is Onyx. Only he might be a good fighter, but the only good thing he gave me was my grandson.
A catty session. I just want to note for today, we're in a very catty session.
Listen, I saw how many people he tried to get into their pants. I'm like, Ska don't like him in my version.
Yeah, it's fine. Listen, heroes had to do something in between cool adventures.
Pick up knitting, weaving, carpentry, become a cooper. That's what I have to say.
My God.
Onyx is like, and what do you, like, again, itches at her arm, and is just like, and what should we be worried about with this spear of great power?
It is a spear made from the bone of a sea monster. It is quite powerful, to say the least.
Mishi's like mid-bite and just goes...
I will leave it at that. In the wrong hands, it could cause a lot of chaos.
It's nasty.
But I would be, of course, willing to assist in any way that I can in terms of provisions before you go. If there is a place you need to come back to, my lands are yours. I open my home to you. There is a stiffening in petite as she says that, as Skaha says that last part.
If I might ask a question, milady.
Of course.
Do you know anything about the movements of the Fae in your lands? We spoke to a wee one yesterday, and it implied that the taller ones also examined the body of what was left of the creature, the ink creature.
What difficulty is level 6? That's an intimidating challenge, okay. The common Fae do as they will, as they normally do. Everyone here is aware of how to deal with them or not interact with them. You know, don't give them your name, don't make any deals, eat their food, and so on and so forth. They stay away from their areas, and for the most part, they stay away from ours. I have noticed, just in the feelings of the wind and the magic, that there have been more than usual in the forest, in the wood. I haven't seen any tall ones, but I can't go on anything other than a hunch. But I think something is happening on their side of the veil.
During the night, I conversed with some small spirits from my world. I believe they are most comparable to what you call Fae. But they're small, not powerful. They tell me there are tunnels that lead to the other worlds. But some have collapsed.
I am unfamiliar with how the Fae travel. They are enigmas. But that's very interesting. And you have regular contact with these spirits of yours.
Yes.
It might not be a bad thing to talk with them with, if you need to get around. If there are tunnels leading to other places, it might save you a trip back to when you leave and need to go somewhere else. I'm not completely sure how it works. I've been told that others came from a library full of paper and books.
Where we were before we came here.
But if you can you can skip that stop, might be a little easier. But of course that means dealing and interacting and bargaining with the Fae.
If it is the small ones, I hold no fear for them.
It's not the small ones that you need to be worried about.
Yes, I'm unfamiliar with these more powerful spirits that you speak of. The only other powerful spirit I know of, aside from myself, would be, and she holds up the feather, the Thunderers. Have you encountered anything like this?
She leans us slightly closer to it. I have not. Is that from a bird? It's a very large bird, if so.
No, this is from a great spirit.
A feathered spirit.
A thunderer. They are birds sometimes, as I am feline sometimes.
I have not met one of these.
Interesting. They're very common. Not once. You seem very powerful. Powerful people tend to know thunderers.
We are from different places.
Have you heard anything about the Queen of the Fae?
No. Which can, depending on how you look at, be good or bad news. I hope it is good news. You're setting your sights very high.
She has something of mine.
May the gods watch over you. She says, well, there is a god in the room.
Yeah.
Not intentional. It was definitely not intentional.
Well, it's down the line.
I have a question for everybody. Would you all like an experience point?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Like something bad is gonna happen.
All right, what fresh hell are you throwing at us now?
Something cool is gonna happen.
All right. So, as the bunch of you are around this table, eating food and talking kind of logistics, history, information with Skaha, you all feel similarly to what happened right before you were rejected from your book. A tearing between the air, but you're not ejected this time. It's just a presence of wrongness. And the doors bust open and you just feel wind flying through here, all the way from the front hall. And your hair is whipped around and you smell... Any of you who have any type of magic proficiency, you smell magic in the air. So I think this would just be Mishi and Onyx, maybe a little bit of Camilla. Sorry, Janet.
It's okay.
You smell magic. You feel the air charged. Not necessarily with lightning, but some power that should not be here. And all of a sudden, Skaha is standing up in alarm, confused, not 100% sure what is happening. And you hear the sound of thunder, but not thunder, echoing outside. Excuse me. And Skaha books it.
Janet immediately follows.
Yeah, Mishi's like, it's fight time, let's go.
Onyx, Camilla?
What's Petite doing?
Petite is looking at you to see what you're doing first. She's staring at you because you get the distinct feeling she doesn't want to put her back to you.
Same, honestly. Onyx stands up, and again, like, this Lichtenberg figure leaks down further, like, covering, like, the open spots on her chest where the bandages aren't. And she looks at Petite and is like, do you really not know that you were a sacrifice when humans pushed too far into our lands?
She looks like she wants to say something, but she looks outside the door where Skaha was going. And she looks at you again, and then curses under her breath and chases after Skaha.
Yeah, Onyx lets her get maybe like a couple feet ahead, and then chases and runs out as well to join everyone.
Camilla?
I was gonna chase after Janet. I'm just staying.
Okay, cool.
I just trailed behind, I guess, last, just watching this last catty exchange happen between the two of them.
As you
We
get
have a
all
panther in the party.
As you all get outside, the sky has darkened. Not necessarily with storm clouds, but with almost like darkness, as if it already started to go into sunset, even though the sun just rose barely an hour ago. Out in the distance, in the middle of the woods, you see a swirling mass of lights and colors. But Janet, you probably wouldn't know what it is if it wasn't for Skaha just muttering under her breath, "What kind of magic is that?" And I'm going to give one more experience point before we end tonight. Onyx, would you like an experience point?
Always.
Who's your second one too?
It's gonna be Janet for having these vulnerable, amazing moments that I love.
Ah, shucks.
On the wind, essentially being blown from this tear, it almost looks like, as you see colors beyond in the middle of the sky rising up from the forest, is a single large black feather coming in your direction.
Onyx snatches it and sort of like starts barreling towards the tear and is just like, Caulfield!
Mishi. From the edge of the forest, you see your little spirit friends. And they're too far away for you to hear them normally, right? Like, but it almost sounds like they're right near your ear as you hear this little one speak. The door is open.
Home?
Not home. But the door is open.
Where?
Cousin's home.
Oh, Murray, you're so evil.
Cousin's home where they said they got that feather.
Mm-hmm.
Camilla and Janet, what are you doing as Onyx fucking barrels into the woods? Scream for someone for Caulfields.
Just look at Camilla for a second, and then she pulls out the jade knife and just takes off after Onyx.
Got there a knife.
No!
God, where'd she get a knife from? The Bat God, who is now watching. I think I'm just watching Mishi now at this moment.
Yeah, I think she was like full tilt running alongside Onyx, and then all of a sudden had just stopped and was like staring forward at the spirit that was
on the tree, in the tree line,
away.
basically.
Yeah, and we were just like very intensely staring at each other. And then she suddenly turns to the person closest to her, which would be Camilla, says, "A door to another world is opened, to where my acquaintance is."
Like company.
Should we... Are the others occupied? Should we...
We're saying as we've stopped halfway through full sprint of the entire
The other two
party.
are gone.
Yeah,
you're
there's like a
going.
giant bird in the sky, a bunch of shit happening. We're busy.
Yes.
I need to go.
I will go with you.
And that's where we're going to end the session.
God.
I'm like, am I about to split the party?
Yes!
Oh, well, blame her!
Oh shit.
No, I'm gonna blame you.
Oh, I didn't know this was two separate locations. I thought that the magic and the...
No, it's the same location.
No, yeah, it's the
okay.
same door.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
No,
okay.
they were telling you that the tear is the door.
The tear is the
Yeah,
door.
yeah,
Got it.
We're all going the same place.
Yeah.
Oh,
Fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
No, you're all going to the same place. Don't worry.
I'm so dumb. I thought they were saying that the
No.
tunnels...
No,
Nope.
there's confusion about
You're
good.
whether the door was also equivalent to the tear. So now we have clarified. Same direction. We're just behind the other two.
Yes.
But to be
Keep in
fair,
mind,
we're also
everybody.
both beasts, so it will not take us that long to catch up to them.
Yeah, you're good. All right. So, hey, everybody. We are, thank you for joining us for session 3 of Journey to Book's End. We're going to say, hey, where you can find us and all that jazz before I figure out a raid. So, who wants to go first? I'll go last.
I can go first. Go.
Fight for it.
The two Latine want to figure out who's going to go first. Anyways.
Fight.
Hello there,
fight.
folks. My name is We're not fighting. If I wanted to fight, I'd just make Onyx like feel affirmed, and Soul feel affirmed, and then Soul would just crumble in like 2 seconds. I know my power. Anyways, my name is. Don't ask. We're friends. Sort of. My name is Angela Lemos Mogrovejo. I use she/they pronouns, and I've been playing Camila Gutierrez, who is a variant of Kamasots, the Mayan Bat Death God. You can basically just find me here on Mondays, as this is currently the only campaign I'm going to be involved in, but hoping in the near future, it's probably somewhere around the new year, when next year comes around, so the start of next year, I'll be running potentially a Printweaver game. Spoiler, the name of the game is going to be called The Deathless Lake, so enjoy that as a title.
The system is
Spoiler.
amazing. Go check out the system.
It is a great system, and very inclined, if you like sad stories that have bittersweet, hopeful moments and a lot of gay shit happening. Apply when it goes out.
If you like Souls-like games and dying a lot, Printweaver's your jam.
Hello, I am Soul. I use they them pronouns. I have been your dragon from St. George's and the Dragon, but remixed into a children's story about killing what you fear. And you can find me on Wednesdays over at the Mandy's channel playing Miss Loss, where I am a queer, anxious cat man, which is basically all the characters I play. And that's currently it. Just there or here. And follow me on Blue Sky. Thank you.
Both inhaled at the same time.
The chemicals!
Oh my god.
There's some insane sounds going on outside, so if you hear that, I apologize. But I was Amaya. My pronouns are she, her. Apart from here, I mainly exist on Instagram to post my art. I'm an art student, so I don't have time for much else, but hey, there's some cool things over there. I've been doing D&D art more recently for like some campaigns that get streamed, so maybe one day you'll be watching a stream and be like, that's her. It's like, oh yeah, follow me on Instagram.
Do it.
What's up, gamers? I've been Charlie. Use he, they, she pronouns. I was playing Bonnie Janet, delightful little Scotswoman who, as the characters are now aware, is from the Ballad of Tamlin. And you can find me on Instagram and TikTok and Twitter, where I will either be talking about this campaign, shows that I've been writing, or Interview with the Vampire. So if any of those things strike your fancy, give me a follow. We'll have a little chat. I'm just vibing. I'm kind of in between projects right now. I started rehearsals for a new show this past weekend, so I'll have more information on that if you're in the New York area and want to come check it out, see what I do on an actual stage. So we're vibing, having a good time.
I should travel to New York.
Stop it.
I am literally like a 2-hour train ride away.
In Toronto.
Hey everybody, my name is Mary. You can find me on all applicable social media at Archmage of Dice. This is the only game I'm running right now, so just join me here on Mondays. But I'm also on our Saturday evening campaign on our flagship campaign, Horizons Call, at 6 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to quickly go over our channel schedule. Sundays at 1 p.m. Eastern, we have our Season 2 of Humblewood called Yonderbound. On Mondays, you have us at 6:30 p.m. Eastern for Journey to Book's End. On Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern, we have our Baldur's Gate campaign. Not a campaign, but, you know, the video game where they're running through everything. I think they just made it to Act 2. I don't know. It's too late for me to watch reliably. On Thursdays at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, you can find our 5e game called Zenith, where they are in the hells. And as I already mentioned, on Saturdays is the Horizons Call at 6 p.m. Eastern. We also have our casting call open right now for our October charity games. I think it's just !casting. I don't know. Check out our Twitter. And apply, because we're raising money for an awesome cause. A lot of spooky campaigns. We are going to go raid Entropy Emporium, where they just have their premiere of Public Access. So go check them out. They're great. You're going to see some wonderful faces over there. And we shall see you next week with a guest. The amazing The Lady Dame will be joining us next week for a session. I can't fucking wait. Anyway, bye.
Bye.